am in my garage right now and I am ready to store the garlic that has been curing. This is what I've been using to cure it. I'm gonna do a quick live while I trim up the garlic and put it into storage. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. And I don't know how long this is gonna last because it's gonna be 100 degrees today, and even in the garage with the fan blowing on me, I'm already sweating. So what I'm doing is I'm taking down the music variety. I used painter's tape to label the shelves. This is my seed starting rack, and all I did to use it as a garlic curing station was take the garlic and thread it through these metal shelves so that it's got space and airflow and room to dry. So we're just gonna pull off some of the music garlic right now, and we will look at it together. I grew, I think, 3 or 4 varieties this year. I grew hardneck music, I grew softneck Inchelium Red, and early Italian purple. I think that's it. Maybe 3, yeah, so 3 varieties. All right, this is enough to start with. Whew. Oh, that fan feels good. All right, let me show you what I'm using, what I have for supplies. I've got some sharp scissors. I have saved some of these mesh bags from when I've bought seed potatoes. I have labels that I'm going to use and an Artline garden marker. These work so much better than Sharpies. I guess I need to lower the camera a little bit. All right, let's lower it more. Okay. So this is music, and it's completely dry and crispy. So I'm going to cut off these root hairs. Then I'm going to cut the stem. And I didn't clean these off before storing them to cure. Now I can just remove these outer layers of paper that have the dirt on them. There you go. So I'm going to save some of my largest heads cloves to plant again next year. And that's what I'm going to use some of these storage bags and labels for. Anything that's going to go inside and be used for cooking, I'm using this like shopping produce bag. These are some that I've already harvested and cured, and now they live in my pantry in this bag to use whenever we need some garlic. If you have a question, feel free to drop it in the question bubble, then I won't miss it. Thanks for joining, everyone. It's great to see you guys. I can't remember the last time I did a live. It's been too long. All right, so this, I feel like this is a good size one that I want to save to grow again next year. So I'm going to put it in this mesh bag. And I'm going to create a label for it so I know what it is. And I'll just put this in here with it. This is not going down as well as I thought it would. Okay. How long do you store the garlic before it goes bad? That depends on the variety. When you are shopping for garlic, soft neck garlic and hard neck garlic store for different time periods. Soft neck typically stores longer than hard neck. Soft neck is what you will find at the grocery store. Also, if you're shopping for like seed garlic, typically they'll tell you on the website stores particularly well if it's a really well storing variety. All right, this head is not super big. I mean, it's decent. So this is going to go in my, we'll use it for cooking. I like to grow some hard neck and some soft neck garlic because of the different storage times, but also because hardneck garlic forms something called scapes, which are considered a culinary delicacy, and you can't get those with soft neck. So music is a hard neck variety, and it has a hard neck. Like the stem is super stiff and hard. It goes all the way down through the middle. Soft neck does not have that. All right, I'm trying to decide if this one is one I want to plant next year. I'm just gonna set it aside for now. This one is definitely not one I would use for planting. This will be for cooking. Typically, hardneck garlic does better in northern climates because it requires a certain drop in temperatures, a certain cold factor to do well. And I've tried several different hardneck varieties in my North Carolina southern garden and have found that music is, of the ones I've tried, is the best performing for me. I'm still able to get the scapes and I'm able to get decent sized garlic heads. Other hardneck varieties I've tried in my warm southern garden have not done very well, and I can't even remember which ones I've tried and haven't tried. I like to try one new garlic variety each year. This year, the new one that I tried was the Inchelium Red softneck variety. It was recommended by the garden voyeur who grows it and gets a great crop every year. And I would say it did medium for me. And that's the key, because what grows well for someone else in a different part of the country is not going to do as well for me. So despite it being a soft neck variety and should do well in my climate, it did not do as well as the music hardneck. I'll pull down, so this is music, and I'll pull down some of the Inchelium Red next, and we can compare the difference of what the music and the Inchelium Red look like. I personally have tried doing a garlic taste test to see if I can tell, like, if this garlic tastes so much better than another garlic. And I really, especially if you're using it for cooking and you're not eating it raw, I really can't tell much of a difference, which for me means I'm going to grow whichever varieties give me the best production. I think this is a good size one. How do you store and use scapes? Unfortunately, I cut and threw mine away. Well, I don't store them. I use them right away. I'm known to eat them raw. Sometimes that upsets my stomach. I do like to cut them up and saute them and with salt and pepper and olive oil and eat them just like that. A lot of people like to take the garlic scapes and make garlic scape pesto. I don't have a recipe for that. You would have to Google that and they rave about it, how good it is. All right, I have finished cleaning the first set of music that I pulled down, and now I'm gonna try and decide at least one more head of garlic to put in the bag for grow next year. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm gonna go with this one. So the rest of these will go inside for cooking. They'll last, the hard neck will probably last around 6 months. And it's my understanding that soft neck can sometimes last around 9 months. All right, so this is my bag for planting next year. I'll probably add at least 1 or 2 more into here, but I have more music on the drying rack that I'm gonna go through before I decide. All right, let's pull down some Inchelium Red. Let's see. This whole shelf is music. This shelf is unknown from the community garden. Here we go. This shelf is Inchelium Red. let's take a look. So this is the Inchelium Red. I got some decent sized heads, but I also got some smaller, on the smaller side. This is music. Inchelium Red music. So this is soft neck and this is hard neck. See the difference? The hard neck has a hard neck and the soft neck has a floppy soft neck. I'm making a huge mess in my garage. That's okay. Oh, Brian's here. Brian, I feel like this is reminiscent of your garlic lives that you would do in your garage. You're actually the one that gave me the idea for it. And I will watch my S's. I was given some advice from Stacy at Okayest Home and Garden, who used to read like audio. She used to be recorded when she was younger for some type of teaching something. And they would tell her if your S's are too, I don't know, whistly, to try and soften them by making them sound more like a Z, or to shorten them. So I am working on that. Now I just say a lot of Z's. Okay, this Inchelium Red is looking good. What is your project? It's garlic. What is this? It's garlic. Trying to catch up on the comments. Are you planning to store any in cubes in the freezer? I had not thought about that. How long do you store the garlic before it goes bad? We talked about that. Okay, I think we're caught up. Oh, Brian, you bought a badge. I didn't know badges were still around. Thank you. I am from Iran and I don't understand English. Please show your project soon. Example, thanks. I mean, I'm literally showing it as I go, so I think you're messing with me. Brian wants to know what I fed my garlic throughout the year. Not a lot. I make compost, so the beds got topped up with compost when I was planting them. And then, of course, I fed them insect frass as a plant food. Oh, Brian, are people being mean to you because you were making fun of my S's? Okay, let's look. These are looking good. These are the ones Brian recommended to me. These are the Inchelium Red. I'm just going to peel off the dirty outer paper. And like this is one I would save to plant again next year. A lot of these are. You know what I think I should do? I think I should taste some of this Inchelium Red raw and see what we think. All right. See if I can get the... I can't get the wrapper off. Here we go. I don't have the description of what Inchelium Red is supposed to taste like in front of me. When you're shopping for seed garlic, the websites will talk about whether or not it's like how strong it is, if it's mild, if it's spicy. Okay. Wow, okay. I'm a big fan. The Inchelium Red has a really good flavor with only a small like afterburn of spicy garlic. Am I gonna regret eating this whole thing? I bet it's gonna upset my stomach. If raw garlic upsets your stomach, typically cooked garlic won't. And Brian says his garlic was a bust for the first time ever. What'd you do wrong, Brian? Oh my God. It has more flavor than I expect. Sorry, I think I just spit at the camera. It has more flavor than I would expect from garlic. Typically garlic, I feel like it's just like, wah! That's really good. My next step is going to be deciding which of these garlic heads to save to plant again next year, and which of them will come inside the kitchen for eating. Once I've decided which ones I'm saving for next year, they will go inside in a drawer, but they're in these mesh bags, so they have plenty of airflow and breathability. And I will hope that they will store all the way till next year. These are big. Sorry, Brian, I know yours were a bust this year. I think I'm gonna save these 3. If you don't have these mesh bags that I save when I get other things, you can purchase, I mean, these are organza bags that I typically use for seed saving. You can purchase them on Amazon, probably find them in an art and craft store. And I'm gonna make sure I put a label in with them, because if you were here earlier, the top row, totally unlabeled. So I don't know what it was, because my labeling is so terrible. And when I pulled it from the garden, it had no labels. Okay. There we go. All right. The rest of these are going to go inside for eating. I want to show you guys, before we hop off, I want to show you guys the largest head of garlic I have ever grown. And unfortunately, it's not labeled. It's from the community garden. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh. Look at this bad boy. It's like sort of as big as my hood. It's huge. It's the entire size of my palm. And I don't have small hands. Let's clean this guy up and see what it looks like. And let's taste it. We should be able to tell if it's a hard neck or soft neck. Okay, it's soft neck, which means it's either early Italian purple or Brian's Inchelium Red. Maybe I need to taste this one too. I mean, I'm saving this one to plant next year. Look at this guy. It's so pretty. My allium leaf miners are bad this year. Oh, that stinks. I have never dealt with that before. And Brian let his scapes get too long. Man, that means you like didn't get to enjoy the scapes and you had a poor harvest. So if you don't cut your hardneck garlic scapes, that diverts energy from the bulb, and your heads will not get as large. God, talking about garlic, I'm realizing it sounds quite double entendre. Like it sounds racy. I'm gonna call them bulbs instead of heads. I don't know. This has got some of the purple veining that makes me think it might be early Italian purple. I don't want to break into it because this is the most beautiful one I've ever grown. So let's clean up another one and try another one. Actually, I need to label this before I forget. Oh wait, it's unknown. Meh. I have a whole bag already of unknown. It'll go in there. Oh, this one's hardneck. I don't know what anything is. It's very satisfying to clean these guys up. If you try and remove the paper and the dirt right after you harvest the garlic, it's not great. I highly recommend leaving them dirty, letting them hang up or lay out on a rack with lots of airflow in a cool, dark place to dry. Wait until everything is super crispy before you process them for storage. That is my personal recommendation. Ah, look at the beautiful purple. Makes me think this is early Italian purple too. I think we're gonna, oh my God, these cloves look huge. All right, we're gonna open one up. Ooh, I almost broke my nail. We're gonna try it too. Look at this one clove. It's huge. How long should they dry out? Sorry if you already shared that detail. Mine typically take 2 to 3 weeks minimum, but you'll know once they're all dried up and the necks are like crisp. Everything's, can you hear that? Everything's crispy. I know, Brian, it's terrible. Danielle. Brian, you let yours go to flour. God, I feel like that's such a rookie mistake. How do I... All right, we're gonna taste this one. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Ooh. Oh, sorry. I don't have anything to drink. Oh. Okay. That made it worse. Whatever that variety is, that's what I'm talking about when it's garlic spicy. That was so spicy, and I like spicy, so that was aggressive. Okay, so this one's a hard neck, so it must be music. Oh my God. I need to stop eating garlic raw. Beautiful. What am I doing? These are unknown. All right, these are gonna go inside. And I just hang that bag up in my pantry. Wow, these are so, I want to save these to plant. Okay. I think this was another music one that I pulled down just to show you like size comparison. Y'all, someone take my phone away from me. So pretty. I find growing garlic to be extremely rewarding. The one thing, my one complaint about it is that it takes up so much garden space. It's typically it's a 9-month growing season, which means for 9 months that space in your bed is, sorry, that garlic is still getting to me. For 9 months, that space in your bed is taken up with the garlic. You can't put anything else there. And for me, I can grow year round. So my spring, summer stuff, it dies. It gets chopped at ground level in the fall, and I start over and start with all cool weather stuff. And then once spring comes around, that stuff gets chopped at the soil level and the spring stuff goes in. The garden kind of invades a couple different growing seasons. It gets planted in the fall for me around October, November, and then it doesn't get harvested until June, sometimes July. So that's a long time to be taking up that space in a garden bed. But I have not had issues with disease. I have not had a ton of pests. Sometimes I get those black aphids. I don't know, maybe they're called allium aphids. And I just haven't had, I guess you can get something I think called garlic rust. That would be, you know, sad. But it's not a super expensive endeavor. Seed garlic isn't that expensive. If you don't want to purchase seed garlic, you can grow soft neck garlic from the grocery store. I recommend getting organic, but I've also grown non-organic soft neck from the grocery store. It did just fine. The heads weren't ginormous, but the bulbs weren't ginormous, but you know, if you don't care about that. Let me see if there's any other questions, and then I'm sweating pretty bad, so I might go inside and change clothes before I gotta go run first round of camp carpool. Where do you dry them? I dry them right here. I dry them in my garage, which is not insulated or air conditioned, but I keep a thermometer out here and it never really gets too hot or too cold in my garage. So I pop them on this seed starting rack that I'm not using right now. The garlic is still, now my nose is running. So this is where I dry them. And I do keep a little fan out here to kind of help with the airflow because it's in a garage. But that's it. Plant them in the fall, harvest them in June. I do find that you can plant them around the outsides of your garden beds, and that might even double up as some pest protection for things that maybe you might eat your other plants, like deer and rabbit that don't want to go near something stinky like garlic. And then maybe they don't take up too much space. I've never done an entire bed of just garlic because I don't want an entire bed taken up for 9 months with only one thing. I also like to plant my garlic in a bunch of different spots. That's something I do with everything I plant. I never plant all my tomatoes in one place. I never plant all my garlic in one place, because if a pest or disease finds it and ruins that one area, I want to have it in other places. I want to hedge my beds. Brian, you're welcome for all the audio clips. Okay, unless anyone else has any other questions, I'm gonna clean up the mess I made. I still have a lot more garlic I need to go through, but it's too hot and gross. I already have to change my outfit before I get in the car. And yeah, we got some good garlic to grow next year. And we've got a lot of garlic. I will not have to buy garlic this year. This is the first year growing garlic. I will probably not have to buy any garlic the whole year. Very excited about that, even though garlic's not that expensive. All right, you guys, it was great seeing you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll try and do more lives. Oh man, Sebastian just joined. I'm done, Sebastian. I'll do another live soon. I need to do an update on my pocket prairie. Sebastian is the inspiration for my pocket prairie. You know what I'm thinking about it? You guys remember Polly Pocket? God, I loved Polly Pocket. She was so tiny. But it's a pollinator pocket prairie. So it's a Polly Pocket Prairie. Right? Right? Okay, I'm done. I need to go inside.